Oké, als het goed is zijn we live met F1 2019 Career Mode hier voor deel 27. Waar wij de 19e race wil ik zeggen van het seizoen in zullen gaan. Nee, het is de 20e of de 18e, want we hebben natuurlijk Austin hierna pas. Het is omgedraaid in het seizoen, dus het is inderdaad race 18. Want we hebben de 21. Dus ja, we zullen verder gaan met de race hier in Mexico. Yo Samuel, thanks for tuning in. Now that I think about it, it's probably midnight again for you, so apologies for that. But anyway, I'm gonna continue my F1 2019 career mode. This is round 18 here in Mexico for Williams, and I'm gonna start off with practice to try and gather some data and develop the car. Talking about development, we've got one new development part in the terms of a redesigned brake duct that will help us with drag, so that's nice. Weather forecast is gonna stay dry for this race, so that's good to see. So one new upgrade for the aero. We definitely needed that because you can see on the performance chart Williams is currently the worst team in terms of aero. Also in terms of chassis. The only part that we're good at is the powertrain, because we are in front of Racing Point, Haas and Alfa Romeo. Is 2020 out? No, not yet. It will come out in about 10 weeks time. So I don't follow F1. Oh, okay. That's fine. Yeah, I've been following F1 for a long time. About as long as MotoGP, I guess. Yeah, I've been playing the F1 games as well ever since F1 2010, the first one from Codemasters, and actually it is probably the main focus on this channel, at least it was, but sort of, yeah, in the last couple of months, MotoGP has sort of taken over because most of the people that watch me prefer that series, so that's why, and also I of course want to finish it to go on to MotoGP 20, but you know, in terms of gaming, I was always more into F1 gaming because I also do a lot of league races on there and I'm much more involved in the F1 community. But in terms of a sport side of things, I actually prefer MotoGP. I'm more passionate about, you know, motorbike racing than I am at Formula 1 or car racing in general. But I like both and I follow both. I only really follow MotoGP because I live right near the track. Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I basically follow a lot of motorsport classes. I follow Formula 1, Formula 2, Formula 3, you know, the what's it called? WEC, the Endurance Championship, DTM, and of course also in the motorbike side, MotoGP 2, 3, World Superbike, World Supersport, British Superbikes, you name it. But it's basically just, yeah, because I sort of somehow got the interest by myself. I don't really have anyone in my family or friends that really follow it, and I don't live near a track. I mean, Essen is about 250 kilometers away from me. So yeah, it's basically just, I don't know, yeah, just coincidental or something that I found my interest in it. Anyway, well, I wouldn't say coincidental, but you know, from myself basically. Let's go into practice. I may actually change my engine back to something that's a little bit more used, because it's a bit wasteful to use a fresh engine for practice. So let's go for engine column 3 and head into practice 1, because I was rambling on for a little bit too much. And thanks a lot for the 3 people that have tuned in.
Hello and welcome from Mexico City, where the teams are getting ready for today's practice session here at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez.
We have a day off online school tomorrow, so I'm gonna stay up a bit longer than usual. Ah, okay.
I'm here with Anthony Davidson once again. Nice to see you, Ant, and I wanted to ask you about how you go about improving the car over the course of a practice session. How much would you say is already known?
Yep, it says Max on his suit there, and it's clearly Pierre Gasly.
How much do you have to work on with a real car on a real circuit?
Well, that's a good question, Crofty, and I suppose the simple answer is that there's no such thing as too much information. As you say, the bigger teams have very complex simulations, vast numbers of clever people crunching the numbers back at base, but what they can't tell you is stuff like how the track condition's going to be, or what the temperature
There's a team at George Russell
over the course of the day, and how all of that's going to be interacting with the tyre. There are so many millions of tiny variables involved in getting these cars around a racetrack quickly, but the computer can't tailor the car to a driver's specific balance requirements. At some point, you still need to put a human being in there and have them feel it through the seat of their pants. And that's why we end up with different drivers having different setups. So what I'm trying to say is, Crofty, nothing beats on-track testing.
Well, there's me just talking to Claire. Alright. Oh, nice.
You're sitting comfortably, mate. We've got a sensor issue, and we're going to be stuck here for a while as we fix it.
Alright, great start then to practice 1. Anyway, yeah, I couldn't stream earlier because I had some other obligations earlier in the day, but I'm gonna try to aim to maybe live stream a little bit earlier because, you know, with the time zone that you're in, it's not exactly ideal. Anyway, nice to see that you are that you have a day off tomorrow. So let's start with the track acclimatization.
We'd like to run the acclimatization program if you have a chance before qualifying.
Yeah, I was about to do that.
Indication of our relative pace and consistency.
I know. Let's accelerate the time a bit to repair the sensor fault. Let's go to the track on a set of hearts to see how we go in the first run. Sort of like an installation lap. I've been looking forward to the Australian GP, but then the season was postponed, so it was sad. Yeah. You mean for oh god, what the hell?
What happened?
Okay, I'm gonna restart it because my wheel wasn't calibrated or something like that. Completely didn't register my movement. I swear I turned the wheel, but it just went straight.
We've lost pretty much all sensor information. It's being looked into now, so just bear with it for a few minutes if you can, please.
Let's try again. For F1, yeah, I was looking forward to it as well, but I was even more hyped for the MotoGP. Qatar GP, and I was really gutted that it was cancelled as well. Of course, we still had Moto3 and Moto2, fortunately, but I was just so disappointed. I was literally counting down the days for MotoGP to start, and then it was cancelled. And of course, the race after got cancelled and postponed as well. So it's such a shame, and also for F1, yeah. Beckett is a bit loose there. Because I wanted to follow the season this year. Oh yeah. Yeah, I've been following F1 since about 2010, I'd say. I definitely had interest in it before that, but I didn't really follow it. I just, you know, watched it whenever it was on. I didn't really follow the season, but ever since about 2010, that's when I started playing the F1 games too, and I was getting myself more involved into it. And I think I've never really missed a race ever since. And same really with MotoGP. I've been watching that for a similar amount of time, for about a decade, I'd say. And before that, I was more like, I was interested in racing, but I didn't really know anything about it, so I just liked to watch it, but I didn't really follow the championship or something like that. So yeah, I'd say since about 2010. Alright, so I don't really like this track in all honesty. Oh god, that was some oversteer. Knocked my left side of the front wing.
You've taken some minor damage.
Alright, that was a pretty scruffy lap.
Looking good. Now let's try for purple. You'll get a bonus for consistency.
But anyway, we have managed to get the green score, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. Because my wing was damaged anyway. So that's the first lap gone. It is quite nice, I guess, that
repairs have set us back a little.
Thanks, Jeff. That I've got a league race here coming up next weekend in SRL, so I can use this career mode weekend as sort of a practice for next weekend when I actually have a league race on this track. Me and my dad wanted to go to the Malaysian MotoGP later in the year to see if the championship would be decided there, but now we are going to go next year. Oh yeah, same with me. Me and my dad were planning to go to Essen this year, just like last year.
Our best lap so far is
Jeff,
1 minute
stop talking.
20.9.
But of course the Dutch TT is cancelled, so I guess our tickets will be available for next year, for 2021. So it's a shame, but yeah, it's of course understandable. But I wish it would have been postponed instead of cancelled, because you know, Essen is quite an iconic race. I think it's the only track, of course, that's been on the calendar since the very start of the series in 1949. So anyway, it is what it is. So let's do the fuel management. I'm gonna save the tire management for later because I want to do that on a used set that I'm gonna use now for fuel management, set of mediums. Yeah, I visited a Grand Prix for the 2014 also with my dad. That was the first time I went to a MotoGP race in Assen, of course. And that was a really good memory. Yeah, it was just, you know, I was 13 years old at the time. And it was just so special to visit MotoGP for the first time and to see it in real life. It was just, you know, I had been watching MotoGP for a couple of years on TV, of course. And to just see everything that you're used to see on TV and on videos and photos and stuff like that in real life was just so special. It was almost like, oh my god, this is actually real. Like, not that I ever questioned it being real, but it was just, you know, so special to just experience it in real life. So I'll never forget that. It was just really impressive to be there for the first time. And every year I come there for the MotoGP race. It always just, yeah, it's always special. But the first time was the most special because, you know, it was the first time. Right, into the middle sector, and this is probably the only section of the straight that I like. It's pretty fast, quite flowing, very easy to cut as well. We gained a bit of time there, we are improving on the delta almost. We need to get under the time threshold. And now I don't really like this final sector, the stadium section, very tight and awkward. We knocked off the bullet there. Yeah, this lap is too slow, unfortunately.
Okay, you weren't quite good enough that lap. Try again.
Let's see if we can get some slipstream from Magnussen. We'll switch to Renault in my career mid-season because, oh fuck. Yeah, that was completely my fault. Driver transfers are a thing in this game, so that's why some drivers aren't in their correct teams, like Magnussen. And my DRS is working as well. Alright, I'm gonna abort this run then. See if we can do a bit better in the tire wear test. Actually, I'm gonna use the setup as well because I feel like I'm losing a lot on the straights. So let's see if I've got something safe for this track.
We've had to spend time repairing the damage to the car.
I think I do. Yeah, there we go. No, that's Australia. Didn't mean to pick that one.
We're fourth in the speed trap, 332.0 kilometers per hour.
Let's see if this goes a little bit better then. I'm gonna try fuel management. On the use set. I always go to MotoGP at Phillip Island every year for ages. It is so different in real life. Yeah, it is. I mean, yeah, it's completely different. You can't get the feeling of, you know, the atmosphere of a MotoGP weekend when you're watching it on TV. Definitely not. And last year, I actually, for the first time, visited the 2 days, like Saturday and Sunday, for the, you know, qualifying day and race day, which was pretty interesting as well. I quite liked it to visit the track for 2 days. Alright, I'm gonna try to concentrate to get a decent lap in because my previous one was pretty slow. So let's see if we can get under the delta as well. It's pretty difficult to find a breaking point for 2 and 1. We need to find a reference point for that. Open up the DRS now for this back straight. 5 tenths up on the delta. I'm gonna try to not lock up into any corners and to minimize the wheel spin, because of course this is the program for saving tires, so I'm gonna wear the tires so much. That bar on the top, which is now currently purple, will go to the left if I, you know, strain the tires too much. But it looks to be pretty easy, to be honest. Also in this practice program I can play around with the fuel mix and the ERS mapping. I can't do that in the fuel saving program, so that's the benefit. This is definitely a much better lap. Bit of a luck up there, but it's still in the purple. Up to the line, and that's finally a purple score then.
Okay, test complete, and that was a very good job indeed. We got a lot of valuable information out of that.
Alright. You should have way more subs. Ah, thanks, man. That's cool. We go on a Friday because locals are free. Ah, cool.
Nothing you need to worry about, but as we have some new parts, we'll just confirm they're performing to spec.
That's really nice, actually. So you actually go there with your class or something. That's so cool. But like in the Netherlands, motorsport like MotoGP is so unpopular. Of course, Formula 1 is very popular, especially for the last couple of years with Max Verstappen being in there. Like before,
Best lap so far
I really don't like my engineer talking to me. Like before 2015, before Max Verstappen came into Formula 1, it was very unpopular. Like nobody talked about it. You never heard anything about it on the news or something like that. Basically, nobody even really knew what it was. And now, since that Verstappen is in Formula 1, it's gained so much popularity over the past couple of years. And now everyone is talking about it. Everyone is, you know, you hear about it on the radio, you see stuff about it on the news, you know, everything like that. It's just amazing how much it has changed over the last couple of years. But unfortunately, with MotoGP, basically nobody even has heard of it. Like, I don't have any friends in real life that follow MotoGP. My family don't follow it. Like, basically, I never really come across somebody who even has ever heard of it or knows what it is. It's so unpopular in the Netherlands, at least where I am. So, yeah, that's why something like that is probably unthinkable.
I know it's tempting to focus entirely on the race, but we should put a bit of time aside to run the qualifying sim program. Try to run it before the end of FP3 if you can.
The island goes insane over MotoGP. Ah, yeah, that's cool. And it's understandable as well, of course, because it's, you know, a MotoGP race held at that island. I guess maybe in the province where the Essen circuit is, you know, it's probably more popular as well, but I'm on the other side of the country and nobody has a clue about MotoGP, really. I'm gonna be very surprised if if even one person in my class ever even has some interest in MotoGP. Maybe someday. And I kind of make my family and friends a little bit interested in it because, you know, they sort of, you know, hear stuff about it because of me. But, you know, they aren't interested in it because they really are. It's more because I am. So, yeah. But do you have a favorite rider or something like that? Anyway, let's try a race strategy program. The population goes up from 7,000 to like 50,000 to 70,000 people, and the town goes insane over it. Yeah, that's great to hear. My favorite rider is Jack Miller. Ah, cool. I could guess that, of course, being an Australian rider. Yeah, it was great then. Of course, the Phillip Island race last year, where last minute Jack Miller got a podium after the crash from Maverick Vinales in the final lap. That was really great. I was really happy for him as well that, you know, he got a podium in his home race. That was Yeah, that was just great. A little bit wide there. Ah, that's cost me my drive completely on the straight here. Just need to complete at least 3 laps in a row within the target lap time. And I'm basically doing all this to get as much development going for next season. So I'm gonna stick with this Williams team for next season as well to try and challenge for podiums and stuff like that, because this season I've been way too slow. So hopefully I can develop the car and have like a bit of a road to glory. Into the final sector then. 6/10 up on the Delta, so we've made up a bit of time. Right, first lap is in the green.
Great lap. You've nailed what we asked for. Keep it up.
I'm in last though in the timings, but that's to be expected considering this is the slowest car of the field still. That was, I guess, a slightly better braking zone there for turn 1. Braking point rather. And this time I didn't go over the curbs. Or, well, I did go over the curbs, but I didn't go like onto the green stuff behind the curbs. Bit of short shifting into here. Very much a traction zone. And now into this very quick section. Easy to cancel your lap time if you go with 4 wheels over the white line, of course. And now the very tight stadium section, which I really don't like. I mean, it's not that bad, but it's just, it could have been better.
Okay, super job so far. We're getting great data. Stay focused.
Do you have Instagram? Yeah, I do. I think I've got a link in the description. I'm not sure though. But I think if you just type in my name, Nick van Gelder, with spaces in between, it will show up. I've got a couple of accounts, but my primary one is like Nick van Gelder, my name, but just with the G and the E spelled like a 9 and a 3. And I've got like a black logo with a 93 in it, so you'll probably find it. But I've also got a YouTube Instagram account where I just post my thumbnails and stuff like that. And I've also got a sim racing account and a racing photos account, but my main account is just called Nick van Gelder with a 9 and a 3 instead of a G and an E, if that makes sense. Which is the number I'm using as well in this career mode and also in MotoGP career mode. Basically, I always use it whenever it's available. And you might be able to guess the reason why. Alright, we have completed the 3rd lap as well then. So that's good to see, so at least we've got some pace.
Great lap. You've nailed what we asked for. Keep it up.
And we've also managed to gain 2 positions into P18 now. Marquez fan, I guess. Yeah, that's true. I'm indeed a Marquez fan. You can see here on the side using number 93 here as well. Anyway, let's return to the pit box. Yeah, it is in the description, the link to my Instagram. I wasn't sure, but I just check now. Alright.
So far, our fastest lap is a 1 minute 18.5.
So, currently in 18th. My teammate George Russell's actually a lot higher up. He is quite a lot quicker, but he is using soft tires, so I'm gonna go out for a soft run as well. Drop you a follow. Ah, thanks, man. I'm Shooter08. I guess that's you. I am identified human male that lives in the Milky Way on planet Earth.
98.4 kilometers per hour.
Go Touch is 2017, 2019, and probably the 2020 premieres. Not quite sure what you mean with that, but anyway. Thanks for the follow, at least. So let's go for a qualifying sim as well. You should watch that, okay. It's good. Okay. Nice Shrek profile picture as well. So, George Russell. He's about 8 tenths in front of us, so let's see if we can improve his time. And then we will also be able to get those team objectives, fast sector 1 and 2. So let's do a quali run with a set of softs as well.
At the end of this session, we need to return 2 sets of tyres. We'll give back the 2 most worn sets, so we may as well get the most out of them while we can. They won't be available for the rest of the weekend though, so don't run too hard on anything you might need later on.
Search it up. Alright, I will do. AFL. Alright. So let's see how quick we can go then on a set of softs. Hopefully I can get in front of my teammate George Russell, because, you know, in the end he's the one that's using the same car and I should be able to get in front of him. So let's turn up the engine mapping and the ERS. ERS back into mapping 4 to give us a bit more straight line speed. Hopefully that car that's coming out of the pits, I think it is my teammate. Yeah, it is. I was a little bit too early on the brakes there. Hopefully George won't hold us up here. Come on, George, get out of the way. I'm on a flying lap. Come on, he's giving me dirty air. Yep. Cheers a lot. That's definitely cost me a bit of time. Now I can't get under the time threshold. And now he's got my slipstream as well. P10, that's pretty alright. I'm not gonna give you slipstream, mate. Just messed up my lap. Alright, we've still improved to P10, so that's pretty decent. Even though, of course, the AI are probably sandbagging quite a lot. Because you can see that, like, Magnus in the front is using hards, Grosjean behind is using mediums. So it's not really an accurate representation of where we actually are, but you know. At least we're not last. So I'm gonna go for a cooldown lap to charge up my ERS a bit again. Because it's currently at 57%. So unfortunately you can't really do 2 flying laps in a row because you're just gonna run out of ERS. You know what, considering we've got quite a long straight, I'm gonna wait for someone to give me some slipstream. I see a Mercedes behind, so that's... hopefully I won't back out of the lap. And carry on, it's Hamilton. Yep. Sorry for that. Isn't the flying lap anyway. This could help us a bit.
This is the last lap of the program, final lap of the program.
Okay, yeah, that was too much oversteer. It's gonna cost me time. Yeah, that was probably The mistake I didn't need to make. I'm not gonna get it in time. Yeah, I'm just overdriving now. I'm gonna back out of it. Okay, I think I'm just gonna end practice here. We've managed to get most of the programs anyway. So I guess I'm just gonna leave it here. So let's go into qualifying, I guess. What's your favorite F1 track with no bias? Ah, good question. Well, the first track that comes into mind is Silverstone. It's definitely one of my favorites. I just really like fast and flowing circuits, so I love the Maggots, Bags and Chapel section in Silverstone. I also really love Spa-Francorchamps. Again, just, you know, a lot of fast and flowing corners through there. You know, I generally like tracks with a high average speed, I guess, just like Phillip Island as well. So I think
so far our fastest lap is a 1:17.4.
Yeah, I think definitely either Silverstone, Spa or Suzuka belongs to my favorites. I think Suzuka is my third favorite, maybe. And I think I'm gonna go for I don't know. Maybe Spa, to be honest. But I'm not sure. It's difficult.
12th in the speed trap,
And actually,
32.3 kilometers per hour.
To drive on in the game, I also really like Melbourne. For some reason, it's not, of course, it's not a very exciting track, I guess, in the sense of that the racing isn't usually. Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's just, you know, an average track, I'd say. But to drive on, I really like it. What about Melbourne? Yeah, well, I just explained it. I think to drive, like, to just, you know, drive on F1 2019 in this case, Melbourne is one of my favorite tracks. For some reason, I just really like it. It really suits my driving style, I guess. And I just yeah, it's probably also one of my strongest tracks, to be honest, in terms of being competitive in league racing and stuff like that. So yeah, Melbourne is one of my favorites, definitely. Especially just, you know, in terms of the layout and the way it feels to drive. It's just very, like, it feels very precise. Like, every corner, you can just nail the corners in Melbourne. And when you get it right, it just feels so rewarding. So anyway, do you play Wreckfest? No, I don't actually. I'm definitely planning about doing that at some point because it looks to be pretty fun, and I see a lot of other YouTubers play it and people I know. So I actually I think I will like it. So I'm definitely gonna maybe play that game soon. Let's end practice then. Let's just skip the qualifying.
It's time to remind ourselves of our top three, who are Vettel, Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton. And that's it, practice is officially over. Until next time, goodbye.
So, P11 in the practice, that's pretty alright, in front of our teammate George Russell. So, let's see what we can do in qualifying. I think we may have the potential to score a pretty good result here, because of course this track with the long straight... Oh, hang on.
Today. Let's have your take on it.
Alright.
You spent a lot of time on the track during practice. Does the car have enough reliability to sustain that?
Yeah, I guess it has. I mean, apart from the moment at the start of the session.
How do you feel the competition is for you this season?
Well, pretty tough, but I am in the slowest car after all, so... Yeah, all the drivers at their best here, I guess. Sportsmanship increased.
It's good to get the reliability issues out of the way in practice, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, it's better than having the reliability issues during the race, isn't it? So, it's better, but not ideal.
You left some body work out there on the track.
Yeah, that's true.
Were you struggling for grip?
Not really, it was just, you know, me being a bad driver. No comment, sorry.
Appreciate your time.
Alright. You should also watch Fiat Supercars, it's really good. Oh, okay, yeah, I've heard about it a lot. Actually, the person that probably taught me the most about it is Team at Marduk, Benjamin Daly, because he's a YouTuber I've been watching for a very long time. Basically since whenever he started making videos in like back in 2011, 2012. And of course he's a big Fiat Supercar fan as well. And yeah, him talking about it has sort of learned me about it, and of course also his videos, like I think a couple months ago, a challenge on Forza where he completed the entire 161 laps in Bathurst with Fiat Supercars. I think it's called the Bathurst 1000 or something. And also in his Toka Race Driver 3 series, he did some Fiat Supercar stuff, and yeah, I think it's a pretty cool racing series. I should definitely give that a go as well. I agree. It seems to be pretty good.
I see you've been skipping a lot of practice sessions lately. Keep in mind that practice is useful to get used to the track,
I know.
improve your car setups, and also helps us gather data for car development. Make sure you don't jeopardize your results by taking these sessions too lightly.
No, I'm not taking it too lightly. I just skipped the sessions because I got most of the work done in practice 1. I mean, come on. Oh god, Emma's got high expectations of us this session. Important to qualify ahead of George. Alright, yeah, beating the team is always the first measure. Yeah, sure. Gonna stay dry. Mexico has a reputation of being a fast track like Monza, but honestly I never remember it for that. No, I actually agree. It's not. I mean, it has a long straight, but apart from that, it's not that fast of a track. Yeah, Monza has a bunch of straights broken up mainly by chicanes. This circuit has these tricky technical sections which are going to be tough to get right with reduced downforce. Specifically, think about a 456 complex. You have to treat 6 as a double apex corner really if you want a good exit. Also take care to control your wheel spin through the stadium section. You can lose a lot out of there. You can lose out a lot out of there. Okay. Bathurst is huge. I've never been there, but I'd like to go. Yeah, I really like that track. You may have seen that I did a league race there on Project Cars 2 last weekend in SRL, and I actually really enjoy driving the track. I think it's probably actually one of the best tracks in the world. Even though I'm not really, you know, it's not on a Formula 1 and MotoGP calendar, so I'm not grown up with it, let's say. But I think it's a really nice track. It has so much, you know, character. It looks good. It feels nice to drive on. It has a lot of you know, of course the evaluation changes. I really like that as well. It just flows with the mountains, I guess, and I really like the track in Bathurst. I don't know if I should call it Mount Panorama or Bathurst, because it seems that people sometimes, you know, call it Bathurst and the other time Mount Panorama. But I guess maybe Bathurst is the name of the circuit and Mount Panorama is like the location or something. I don't know. Can we order a new upgrade? Because we have now saved up 2,148 resource points. We can upgrade the aero, or we can upgrade the chassis. We also need to adapt these because the regulations are going to change next year. So yeah, let's adapt both of these. And then spend the rest of our resource points to... I guess maybe the chassis is more important. You can see how much I'm lacking in the chassis. So, engine cover, leaf dampers or rear floor under tray. I mean... Alright. Yeah, so the engine cover definitely will give us the biggest improvement, so I'm just going for that one. It's the most expensive, but it doesn't really matter. Right, so... without any further ado, before I forget, I'm gonna change the engine components to a fresh engine. And let's see how we go in qualifying. They wanted to do MotoGP there, but it's too dangerous during the forest section. Yeah, of course, with the walls being so close, it's not really a motorbike circuit. Although, it would be really cool. I mean, I can't really imagine seeing MotoGP around that track, but it would be really cool, to be honest. But yeah, I can understand it's too dangerous with the walls, especially.
Welcome back to the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. It's a circuit that has a huge amount of history, and I'm sure we'll be staging a fantastic qualifying session today.
Yeah, there's no runoff, yeah, exactly.
I want to talk briefly about the strategy in these qualifying sessions.
Yo Bart, Nicky van Gelder, dankjewel dat je bij me man. Dit ziet er raar uit, Daniel Ricciardo in een Haas outfit.
It's more about trying to repeat a low fuel run that you've practiced prior to this session. You're looking for perfection on the lap, and that's hard to achieve if you're trying something new. There are some variables that can stand in your way, however. Track position or unexpected yellow flags, for example. Coupled with ever-changing track conditions, it's important to be out there at the right moment. But as a driver, you have to try and ignore these distractions and just keep your mind focused on that one perfect lap.
Alright. Let's go for that then and see what we can do in the first run. I'm gonna make sure I'm as light as possible. Probably gonna let the setup stay as it is. So let's see what we can do then in the first run of the session. Let's try to get a banker in at least. Do last the first challenge. nee, dat ga ik niet doen, want weet je, ik ben sowieso al langzaam, dus als ik achteraan start, ben ik al helemaal langzaam. En dan verlies ik ook heel veel reputatie met het team en zo, want ik ben al niet zo heel erg hoog qua verzekering in het team voor volgend seizoen. Dus ga ik wel even mijn best doen voor de kwalificatie. En de first gaat zeker niet werken. We gaan eens in de buurt komen van de eerste plaats in de race. Oh man, that's a massive back-end loss there. P5, but it's not gonna last long. After him in P6. Oh man, that wasn't an ideal lap, but it's okay. I mean, it's just the first lap of the session, so at least we've got a time in. How many laps for the race? It's a 50% race, so I think it's gonna be 36 laps. So I'm not quite sure which time it is for you, but I know that it's quite late. So of course I totally understand if you're gonna leave soon. Because the race is gonna be about 50 minutes long, almost an hour. Anyway, let's return to the garage and see where we are after a couple minutes.
So far, our fastest lap is a 1 minute 15.7.
Well, at least we're in front of our teammate by 3/10. But only 12 drivers have set a time, so that's not very accurate. Yeah, you can see we're now flying down the order. P17. Let's try to get another lap and then on a fresh set of tires.
We're 20th in the speed trap, 232.9 kilometers per hour.
12:30. So props will leave halfway at max. Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. By the way, I think I'm gonna turn up the sound a little bit because I feel like it might be a little bit too. I think it's not loud enough, is it? I mean, let me know. I'm gonna put it up to 7, and I think it will still be hearable. Let me know if I'm not, but I think it will be a bit better. Okay, 5 minutes to go. I'm all by my own, so I can't search for some kind of slipstream, unfortunately. Oh, that's a corner cut there. Apologies for that. Turned in too early.
We have 2 laps of fuel remaining.
Two tens up. This time much better out of the final corner. 15.6, yeah. Didn't even gain us any time. And with 3 minutes to go, we won't be able to get back into the pits and go for another lap, unfortunately. So I guess it's gonna be P17 or lower. Yeah, it was a very good lap. I made a mistake in the middle sector when I turned into it. I cut the corner and then extended a bit, but it completely lost me.
We're 8th in the speed trap,
The momentum there.
337.0 kilometers per hour.
Yeah, P18 at the moment. Well, at least we aren't beaten by George
With
Russell.
qualifying finished, it's time to remind ourselves of our top 3. Hamilton, Verstappen and Pierre Gasly. With qualifying complete, all that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
Yeah, that shows that we are the slowest car on the grid. My ideal lap would have put me, yeah, in 17th, because my third sector on the first lap was 2 tenths quicker, so yeah, it couldn't have been much better than that. Anyway, the race is where the points are scored, and let's hope that we can score a couple points. course, I'm just going to be looking to stick with the pack because, like I said, the slipstream is so powerful around here with the long straight. Okay, well, we have out-qualified George Russell, but he's still leading the rivalry. Oh, by the way, I still need to select a rival from the workstation, yeah. There's a reputation, you can see basically only Williams and Alfa Romeo and Toro Rosso are interested. All the other teams are not interested at all.
Bad luck in qualifying. That's not exactly ideal. But there's no points for Saturday. Keep a cool head and make up for it in the race.
Okay, we need to select a rival. We need to be able to beat him, of course. So I'm gonna go for someone who is unbeatable. Right, let me look at the performance. So Devin Butler is driving for Toro Rosso, so he won't be much quicker. So let's just go for Devin Butler, I guess. And by the way, he's not a real Formula 1 driver if you aren't familiar with it. He is just a made-up character by Codemasters. So anyway, you know the drill. Careful into turn 1, be patient but also opportunistic. Remember to utilize your ERS properly. You can gain a good strategic advantage by deploying your energy at the right time. Alright, without any further ado, let's go into the race then for round 18 of the season. And after a pretty difficult race in Japan last time out, let's hope we can at least improve on that result. We did score a couple of points in the race before that in Russia, so the potential is probably there, but yeah, let's just see how it goes.
The air may be thin here in Mexico City, the atmosphere is anything but. The crowd have been chanting and singing, not just this afternoon, but throughout the entire weekend. There's a great love for Formula One here, and no small amount of expectation. Let's hope today's Grand Prix can meet it.
Is your username supposed to be Snicker like the chocolate? No, it's not actually. Good question though. I think many people often think that. But it's actually a pretty silly reason if you think about it. It's because in primary school, like many years ago, like back in 2010, 2011, some friends used to call me Sneaker just for fun. I don't know, I think referring to the shoe brand or something, but because my name is Nick, they just added an S in front of it and ER behind it. And so when I had to make an account, it was originally for my PSN for the PS3. I just decided to, use that because I couldn't really think of any other nickname. By the way, I'm gonna wait until Anthony Davidson is finished talking.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside.
Let's just skip that because, who wants to watch that? Anyway, to continue the story, because I was used to be called like that from a couple of friends. I just...
Here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Thanks, Jeff. So, I just, filled it in for my username on the PS3 when I had to make a PSN account. And I think with an E and an I and an A, it was already in use, so I just made I and A like a 1 and a 3. And basically I've been using it ever since. So when I made a YouTube channel, I called it like that as well, because I wanted to have a bit of continuation. And of course I did change my PSN a couple of months ago, because of course PlayStation made it possible now to change your name, so I just changed it to Nick van Gelder, my actual name. But my YouTube channel is still called like that to this day. And yeah, so that's basically it. So it doesn't refer to the chocolate, it refers to my name. And I don't know where the actual name refers to, but you'll have to ask the kids that used to call me that back in the day. But I think they were probably referring to the shoe brand or something. I don't know. Or maybe because I am sneaky. My nickname sucks. It's just Sammy or Sam. Oh yeah. Well, usually people never really call me like that. But back in the day, some friends called me that. I don't really have a nickname anymore nowadays. Well, yeah, I mean, some people still call me something else, but and now that I think about it, it's really cringy. But for some reason, some people always like to call me Nicky Boy, which sounds so cringy. I hate it, but for some reason, some people say that, and yeah, that's pretty cringe. To be fair, it's only girls that do that, by the way. Luckily, otherwise it would be even more cringy. But yeah, I don't really have a nickname because yeah, I guess it's pretty convenient to have a name that's only one. How do you say that in English? I actually don't know the word. Wait, let me look it up. Of course, when you've got a long name, people always try to shorten that. Yeah, it only has one syllable. That was the word I was looking for. So usually, people don't really try to make it something else. Because I know so many people are, you know, with long names are always called with the shorter version that people just make it. Just like you with Samuel and Sam. For syllable. Yeah, thanks. Anyway, enough rambling. Let's look at the race strategy then. 36 laps, one stop from mediums to hards. Is it possible to go to softs maybe? And then remove this one? Yeah, look at that. It's faster by 1.8 seconds. If I can come up with this, why can't the game calculate that this is faster? I mean, yeah, doesn't really make sense. Anyway, let's see if I pit on lap. Okay, yeah, lap 13 is the best. We'll just go from softs to medium, softs to hards then. In terms of fuel, let's put 1 lap of extra fuel in the car. Don't want to run too much because of course it's going to be heavier, and also in this game when you run too much in a high fuel mapping, your engine will overheat. So yeah, let's go with that. Formation lap. Let's do a practice start.
Everything looks good on the power unit cycle, so let's concentrate on bringing tyres and brakes up to temperature.
A little bit too much wheel spin there, so we're probably gonna have to be a little bit more careful, maybe short shift a bit more of the line. Wow, the front tires are really cold. Despite weaving on the straights. Let's try to get some temperature in the tires. Gonna try to turn beyond the grip, like the ultimate grip level a little bit here, to try and generate a bit of extra temperature. You can see the carcass is actually heating up, but the inside of the tires aren't really. Well, now they are a little bit. A bit of tire temperature into the fronts by locking up. I need to do a slight power slide to get the rear tires up to temperature as well. There we go. I forgot to to change my ERS again, so I'm gonna have to do that when the lights are on. Because I can't do it anymore now. So I'm still in the ERS mapping 0. Anyway, let's go then. For 36 laps here at the Mexico Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez circuit. I'm gonna turn up the ERS now to hot lap. Lights are out. A lot of wheel spin there. We're gonna be lost. To the outside. Pretty tight into there. Let's keep our front wing intact at least. P18. Alright, P16 of the start. And luckily we are still without any damage, because damaging your front wing can really lose you a lot, especially in this section of the track, where you really need that front downforce. So now that we're behind other cars, you can see that the engine temperature is going up a little bit. Be careful with that. Kimi Räikkönen in the Alfa Romeo is gaining on us. It's up the inside. We'll have the inside though. We hold on. This is already losing us a little bit of time to Carlos Sainz in front. You're basically doing last to first, yeah, although I think getting first place is out of the question here. It's gonna be extremely difficult unless some really weird things are gonna happen. And my Siri is going off. Alright. My phone is doing all sorts of stuff right now because I accidentally said something that sounded like "Hey Siri." So I can't see the chat right now because my phone is doing random things. Anyway. That happens to me way too often. Often when I'm streaming, I accidentally trigger Siri. And it's not exactly ideal.
Race officials have enabled DRS. DRS.
Yeah, it's already 1.8 seconds to sign. Take off Räikkönen again. This time we once again hang it around the outside. As long as we can do that, we will have the inside for this corner, of course. But again, this is just all costing us time to the group in front. So the ERS back down into this section because you don't really need the engine power into here. If anything, it can help you by turning down the engine, because of course it gives you slightly better traction. Accelerated on the curb a little bit too much there. Rest in peace, Bollard.
Okay, the boots aren't looking too worn at this point. We should have plenty of life left in them. Let's make sure we keep managing them properly. We're leading our teammate by 2.9 seconds.
What time is it where you are? It's 16:51 for me. So that's 4:51 PM. Of course over here we don't use AM and PM, so yeah. Pretty much, well, 10 to 5 PM, essentially.
Okay, gap ahead is 2.
Locked up into there.
Seconds.
You can see the drivers in front are battling a little bit, so that could play into our hands. Oh, not if I lose the backup like that. Yeah, that's definitely gonna, you know, give us a bit more tire wear, and also I need to be careful to don't overheat the tires, because as soon as you overheat them, you're in like a never-ending cycle where because they're overheated you start sliding, and because you start sliding they're gonna overheat even more. And it's, you know, if that happens... Oh, I locked up on the curb there. I shouldn't brake on the curb. Yeah, you can see now the front left is overheated a little bit. I'd rather have the front overheated than the rears, because like I said, if it's the rear tires that are overheated, then you're gonna have some problems. Anyway, Lance Stroll behind us. Hopefully the left front will cool down on the straights a bit here.
Some information on Magnussen. They seem to have an issue.
Lance is going to the outside of the corner. Nothing I can do. He locks up a little bit, but even though, despite that, I'm not made enough on the brakes. The front has cooled down on the straight again. Stroll's gonna have DRS again. Maybe he can pull us towards the group in front if I can stick with him. Yeah, that was... I took too much curb there. Almost lost it. I'm surprised the game didn't give me a warning for that. Because I did exceed the track limits there. But we are sticking with Lance Stroll. So we will pick up DRS again. And the slipstream. So should we attack or should we stay behind? Yellow flags.
Caution, caution, yellow flags ahead. No overtaking through the caution zone. Be careful until you see the greens.
I think there's a car that's retiring. It's Daniel Ricciardo. He is going very slowly on the race line. So that's a free position for us.
Green flag.
New strategy. No, keep current. Keep current.
Got that confirmed.
Don't want to pit on lap 8. Probably. Well, actually, it might not actually be that bad because I could do an undercut. I don't know. I don't know what the tires are like. Tire status.
Okay, we think the effects of the tyre deg are going to kick in soon. We should be alright for the time being, but you will start to find it a bit more slippery out there.
Okay, 45% of the rears. Actually, pitting lap 8 might not actually be that bad. Oh god, yeah, that's a massive sliding once again.
Our gap to the car in front is 1.5 seconds.
Raikkonen gets past as well. There's Ricciardo parked up. Well, we are falling back in this race. We just don't have the pace. I was a bit cheeky there. I really want to stick with Raikkonen because I need to stick within that DRS. I am running low on ERS as well. Okay, at least have a bit of a luck up once again. At least I have the DRS now. Oh man, once again a massive backend loss. Ah, that's really gonna cost me.
The pit window. You'll be on the mediums.
I do have DRS, but I've lost all of the momentum on the straight. That was a bad exit. And my ERS is at 20%. I'm gonna turn that down. Should I pit on this lap? Maybe I am going to try not do an undercut because the rear tire is going off, as you can see there. Tire status.
Tyre update for you, and it looks like this set is coming to the end of its life. We don't anticipate having much more time before it's completely gone. The grip loss will be sudden, so be ready.
Alright, box this lap.
Repeat that, there's interference.
Nice interference. Box this lap.
Confirmed, we'll receive you at the end of this lap.
Thanks. Set hard tires.
There's static over the radio, say again.
Set hard tires.
Copy that. that. Parts for next box.
Thanks. Alright, we're gonna pit this lap. Probably. Should I? I think I'm going to. Or should I? Oh, I don't know. Or should I? I'm gonna stay for one more. Because I feel like I've got the DRS again. This time a bit smoother on the exit there. Will I have DRS? Oh, I don't. It's 1.4 seconds. Okay, I'm just gonna pit on this lap then. Box this lap.
Understood, stopping this lap.
Yeah, that's my first warning. That's totally fair. I cut the corner there, but I'm allowed to get 2 warnings and the third one is a penalty. I'll read your chat as soon as I'm in the pits. Yeah, you can see the rear tires are really going off here. That's my second warning, yeah, 65%. Gonna definitely come in on this lap. George Russell behind us, our teammate. Right, let's come into the pits then. Alright, I always look forward to your streams now. Ah, thanks man, I really appreciate that. Williams isn't a great car, seeing how you're going, save me in real life. Yeah, it's the slowest car on the grid. So I'm definitely gonna have to have my work cut out. Especially for next season. So, we are in last, but I do of course have an undercut now.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a
For some reason my pit lane button didn't register the first attempt, so I lost a bit of time there, unfortunately. And I braked early into the one because I, of course, had much lesser speed than usually when you go into the braking zone with like 350 km/h. This time it was, of course, much lesser. I braked too early. I wasn't quite sure where the braking point was considering I came out of the pit lane. Yeah, these tires definitely feel better. Even though they're hard tires, it just feels so much nicer too. Okay, yeah, that's great, isn't it? Completely deserved though. I was a bit too desperate to make up time and I cut the corner. Alright, fair enough. I did cut the corner, so it's not like the game is screwed me over. It was completely my fault. So let's see who will come out then compared to the rest of the field. Well, nobody has pitted yet. Well, some people have, but not the people that were racing. Yo Max, dankjewel dat je erbij bent.
The car ahead has come in and fitted the soft tire.
A little bit too wide there as well, that wasn't exactly ideal. And a massive lockup because I braked on the curb. You can't really do that in this game. Ja, Ricardo heeft DNF inderdaad. My teammate is into the pits now, so let's see where he comes out relative to us.
George is coming in for his stop.
Alright, Magnussen, we get past him. There is George Russell, we get past him as well. But unfortunately, Lance Stroll is still up the road, which was to be expected. And now we have got our teammate to contend with.
The gap to the car ahead is 4.1 seconds.
Wait, George Russell spit it to softs, what the hell? So he's doing a 2-stop then, as is Lance Stroll. That's interesting. There is no way you'll be able to get those to the end, and I think he started on softs as well, so it's not even legal. So they're definitely doing a 2-stop then. And I'm definitely on a 1-stop as well. I think I can take these tires to the end. I can minimize the sliding and locking up. Anyway, Sainz is in the pits. I think, no, he wasn't. He was just getting overtaken, I think. There goes George Russell then. Well, of course he's gonna be much quicker on these softs. Yeah, you can just see he immediately pulls away from us. It's a 1, okay. Well, like I said, feel free to... which gear am I in? What the hell? I was accidentally in 3rd or something. I misshifted there. Feel free to, of course, leave if you want to. Somebody's in the pits, it's Devin Butler, 17th place then, but I'm really wondering why the AI are pitting for softs again, because if they're gonna pit again, which they are going to, it's gonna be interesting to see where we are. Good night. Alright, so you're gonna leave? Well, good night then, and thanks a lot for, you know, being the witness of practice qualifying in the first half of the race. You did call it quite nice because we are, well, I'd say pretty close to halfway. Not exactly halfway yet, but I very much appreciate you being with me for the majority of this live stream, and hope to see you again soon. And good night. I'm only gonna refer back to Dutch commentary because I think the other guy that's watching is Dutch. So, Devin Butler's also on hard, so he's also doing 1-stop just like I am. I wonder when the soft runners will start to pit then. Well, Kimi Räikkönen's in the pits. I think it is Kimi Räikkönen. It is. Where he's gonna come out is just in front of us. Oh, I just about didn't get him. He's on hards as well, so he's going to the end as well. So some split strategies here. Some AIs are opting to do a 1-stop and some are going for the 2-stop. Bye man, and what will you stream tomorrow? I don't know, let me know what you would like to see. Before I go, what keyboard do you have for your PC? Because I need a new one, I want to get some suggestions. I'm using a very basic Logitech keyboard, I don't know which one, but nothing special. Yeah, I'm just using a Logitech one. I can look up for you which one it is. I think it's still in the box, but I'll let you know tomorrow. But it's a very basic one. MotoGP 19, okay. I will live stream that tomorrow then. So we'll continue with career mode for Austria. I think we are definitely sticking with Kimi Räikkönen, which is a positive. Do we have DRS though? No is the answer. It's 1.1 seconds, just 1/10 shy of getting into the DRS. I really want to get into the DRS because that's can help us out so much to keep the pace up. Which is important because, like I said, there are a couple drivers in front of us that are going to do a second pit stop. So if we can stay within that window of them pitting and us being in front of them after they pit, that could definitely help us get in a couple of positions, if that makes sense. And DRS can just gain you so much on this track.
Okay, some information on Räikkönen. They have an issue with their car.
Oh, okay, Räikkönen has an issue. That's actually a shame because that means that I will probably pass him and then won't have the DRS. I will for this lap though. Right, we have to pass him now. I decided to go for the outside to lose as little lap time as possible.
Great maneuver. You made it look easy.
Well, it was actually pretty easy, Jeff, because he's got an issue with his car. You literally told me about half a minute ago. We get to Russia's 3 seconds.
seconds. We pretty much burned off our excess fuel. We'll be back on target soon. Don't wait too long to turn the engine down. Approaching the pit window, you'll be on the mediums.
No, I won't. I'm gonna stick it out.
Is 4.4 seconds.
I think this might be the lap where some AI cars need to start the pit. There we go, Norris is in. We're just about in front of him.
The car ahead is coming to fit the mediums. Car ahead, now running medium tyres.
Yeah, and he's now behind me.
You're increasing the gap to the car behind by a few seconds per lap. Keep this up. It seems they've fixed whatever the problem was. They're coming back up to speed.
Oh, sorry. Oh yeah, that was completely my fault. I damaged my wing in the process. I really need to stay in front of him because he's gonna be quicker. I'm not gonna suffer from this in the middle sector. George is in as well.
George is in the pits.
Look at this, we're definitely gonna gain a couple of positions here.
We're boxing this lap. Give us the best in luck you can.
Hey, Klaas. Yo. Ja, ik ben gewoon career aan het doen. Dus geen online race of zoiets. Oh ja, is goed. Leuk dat je er bent.
Ja.
Ik wacht even tot ik uit de bocht was, zodat ik mijn pauze zette. Vandaar dat ik heel...
Maar je hebt toch een nieuw stuur of niet?
Nee, niet meer. Ik heb hem verkocht.
Echt?
Ja. Vlak nadat ik terug was.
Echt? Om hem niet te laten zien aan
Jawel hoor, maar gewoon omdat ik kon hem verkopen voor best wel veel geld nog.
de marktplaats.
Ja.
Snap ik wel, want je hebt er nu 2, 3.
Ja. Inderdaad, ik heb nog de Logitech.
Ja, zeker.
Ja, die gebruik ik eigenlijk niet meer.
Ja, dat is een beetje een oude.
Ja, die hoorde origineel hierbij, maar ja...
En hij klikt toch vast of zo?
Ja, nou, op zich, het werkt nog wel hoor, maar...
Niet goed.
ja, dit is wat fijner.
Ja.
Of die. Dus ja, ik ben gewoon nu even een F1 Career Mode Race aan het livestreamen. Dus
F1,
ja.
Ik heb iets uitgevonden. Ik heb een PlayStation controller, kun je aanzetten op je telefoon.
Echt waar?
Ja, ik heb gewoon Call of Duty spelen met mijn controller.
Oh, dat is wel echt nice.
Ja. Dan moet je gewoon, moet je van een paar knoppen tegelijk indrukken en dan allemaal instellingen zoeken. Maar het is wel echt vet.
Ja, inderdaad. En ook echt heel nice dat je nu een 8 Plus hebt.
Ja.
Dus waarschijnlijk wel echt gewoon een verademing, of niet?
Ja, bro. Heel erg. Het is gewoon, die iPhone 6 is echt de hel. Deze is wel goed.
Inderdaad, ja zeker.
Gewoon wat dingetjes op. En ik kan de nieuwste updates weer doen. Dus
Ja, dat ook, ja. Maar goed, je komt gewoon even langs, of...
ja, ik was eigenlijk voor opa gekomen om een bakje te maken en hij was aan het slapen. Dus.
Oh, klopt, ja, inderdaad, ja. Oké. Nou, ik ben ongeveer in ronde 23 van de 36 of zo, dus het is nog iets van een kwartiertje, 20 minuten. Anders kom ik zo ook al naar beneden.
Ja. Ik speel dat Fortnite op mijn telefoon. Bro, mijn hele telefoon is helemaal gloeiend heet.
Oh ja?
Ja.
Ik ga wel heel veel trouwens verder, anders duurt het heel erg lang. Ik zet maar gelijk ietsje zachter, dan hoor ik jou ook een beetje. Ja, dat kan trouwens ook, ja. Alleen dan klinkt het weer zo irritant. Maar ik hoor je nu ook wel gewoon. Nee. Heel vaak heb ik eigenlijk mijn iPad voor de chat, maar dat heb ik nu nog bij alleen thuis liggen.
Don't forget, box this lap. The car behind is dropping back by about 3/10 a lap. The gap to the car ahead is 11.5 seconds. Race Control aren't happy with your creative interpretation of track limits. They've given you a 3-second time penalty. Expect to see some rain about 10 to 15 minutes from now. Okay, this is Jeff. I need you to stop cutting the corners. If you keep it up, the stewards will award you a penalty. Your front wing is damaged. Expect a lot of understeer unless we replace it. Check your MFD for a new strategy option. Strategy is available on the MFD. Okay, clear. Check your MFD for a new strategy option. Okay, copy that. Engine off, caution, caution, the virtual...
Oh man, that sums it up. Alright, unfortunately, we weren't gonna score any points anyway, but we are definitely not going to now.
It was a magnificent race and a drive right out of the top draw to take the win for Red Bull today. Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win. So let's review the updated driver standings. Despite the best efforts of our championship leader, that lead has taken a bit of a knock today. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
Well, it's got to be Kevin Magnussen. He displayed exceptional skill out on the track today and wasn't afraid to fight his way through the pack.
It's another clear win for Mercedes as they managed to secure the Constructors' title. An incredible performance for the whole team. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Well, things didn't really go your way today. Let's have your take. Do you have any comments about the collisions? Some excellent overtaking moves from your former teammate today. Did he learn some of them from you? That crash looked pretty serious. Can you walk me through what happened? Great. Well, that's everything.